Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay! Definitely a thumbs up for existing. It is a good thing. I enjoy existing, and I hope that you do too as well. I have been pretty active this morning, even though it's like almost 8:30 getting started right now. There are some days that 8 o'clock comes by, I've been up at 5 and I can't even get moving then. I've been sort of antsy and doing things this morning, so it's nice, it's a good thing. And it's not raining. It's not raining right now, so that's good. It was really cold last night when I went walkies. Ended up with ice on everything by the time I got back, so fun that way. It's enjoyable. I like walkies in the cold, so a good thing definitely on that. So it's just a nice morning here. It's kind of foggy, but it's not dark, so thumbs up on that. And of course, to front load the video, thank you YouTube and your algorithms. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that would be very cool if you like what you hear and see. If you could subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't already, that too would be very, very awesome. I enjoy comments to no end. I thumbs up each one I read, and I read them all. I answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow, so thumbs up on that. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these beautiful and awesome people that literally help to keep me alive. That's a good thing. I appreciate being alive, and I appreciate the help to no end. It is a good thing. Definitely. So thank you again to each and every one of these beautiful and awesome people. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Yay! Front loading of algorithms. Front loading of videos over. Yay! YouTube algorithms. So yeah, it's been a day. I've slept. It was kind of roughish. I went to bed early for me and then woke up like thinking half the night was gone, and it was only just past midnight, so it hasn't been perfect sleeping, but at least there's been some, and that's a good thing. And my kitty, she's doing well, very, very good. And then I dug up little Ghost's house up there yesterday because I hadn't seen him for like hours and hours, like 10 or 12. Then normally he's up and running around. So I went digging, calling, hey little guy, to make sure it was okay. And then finally he went, what? And poked his head up out of the stuff at the very bottom. So I'm sorry, little guy. But he's still doing well, and he was running around and just being a good little hamster. So he's doing better. And of course, well, not better, doing good. Amelia is the one that's doing better. And thank goodness for that. She's almost back to where she was before I thought I was going to lose her. So thank goodness. She's not perfect. She still does not eat as well as she should. She still does not be as active as she was. But it's better than, yeah, so it's a good thing, definitely. Past that, though, I have just been surviving. I did a whole bunch of falling asleep yesterday, and that sucked. I fell asleep twice in the chair here. And when I fall asleep, I have sleep apnea, but more than sleep apnea, I have been able to determine this as well. I stop breathing when I'm sleeping. And so if I don't have a sleep apnea mask, which forces air down my throat so I can get oxygenated even when I stop breathing, that's bad for your heart. Your heart and your brain and your lungs. You know, no oxygen and you need it. So that's very, very bad. Thing is, though, I've been able to think back through my past where even as a kid, because these things really, really made a big impression, I would have to stop and breathe consciously for like 20, 30 seconds at a time. Never often. But I've been able to pay attention to that now and realize, hey, my sleep apnea doesn't just happen when I sleep, because quite often, even during the daytime, I'll be sitting and doing things and I realize I'm not breathing and I need to, and it gets kind of desperate because I've stopped breathing, and then I'll have to spend 20 or 30 seconds consciously breathing, otherwise I don't. And then I'll just forget to breathe after that because my body's picked it up again. I don't just have sleep apnea when I'm sleeping. I have sleep apnea all the time. Because there are two types of apnea, obstructive and central. Obstructive is when the structures of your throat collapse and you're blocked off here. And so that's why people snore. They're trying to breathe through the collapsed tissues of your esophagus. When you've got central apnea, your brain just goes click on the I need to breathe part, and you just stop. And then later on, your brain goes, oh, click, and then you start breathing again. That's what I got. So thumbs up. Ugh. Past that, there was actually not a whole lot, so just checking out the little topics list. One of the odd things that happened, and it's only odd because you don't expect to see this sort of thing. I was just watching a video before I started recording talking about the game engines that are most used for games on Steam in 2021. And there was one game that I actually play that was written in the weirdest language. It's a game called Hrot, H-R-O-T, and it's written in Pascal. Now, if you don't know anything about programming languages, Pascal is basically it's a utility language so that you can write databases and do stuff like that. It's not for gaming. It's to make applications that you do like serious work on. But people are people, and so even back in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, people were making big games with Pascal and Turbo Pascal with all these extra things added to it. So it's just weird that even like 40 years after seeing all this happen, it's still happening. I think it's cool that Pascal is still being used as a language. I mean, there used to be just a billion programming languages out there, and now there are so few, and they each serve a purpose, and they're good to have. So I just thought it was kind of cool that Pascal was being used to be the engine, well, the language to create the engine for one of the games that I play. Thumbs up for that. It's a great game. Hrot, it's a first-person shooter, very strange story. It takes place in the 80s in like the Ukraine or Czechoslovakia, I can't remember which, but there's been an event, and it's just very bizarre. If you can, you should check it out. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Past that, just, falling asleep a lot yesterday, and then trying to get stuff done. I did my editing and all that and uploaded stuff hopefully today. I mean, I've mentioned how I'm feeling pretty active, and I actually feel pretty good up here. I am hoping that I can get some reactions done today. That would be a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. I've been accidentally self-sabotaging by going through my Steam library and getting all sad with all the hundreds of games that I have been just putting into hidden mode because they're either abandoned or they are no good, or just, I'm never going to play them even if it is a good game. And I feel sad. I got like 2,500 Steam games in my library. I have no ideas where like 90% of them came from. Yay, ADHD. But it's been fun going through them. There's a lot I've been getting rid of. And then of course I still got the 600 some odd in GOG and a whole bunch of others that I still got to go through. So I just gotta not do that today because I don't want to get sad. I need to be happy and in the proper headspace so I can do some reactions. That would be a good thing. Because, oh boy, my mood is so volatile. It does not take much to push me from the heights of happiness to the depths of despair. Luckily, I can actually usually crawl out of it a bit later, but when I'm slamming like this, not fun. I do like more of a homogeneous, not bouncing off the walls thing, but you can only do so much when you've got a volatile mood. Yay depression, yay ADHD, yay the whole being an autistic person on top of that, the genetic trifecta. None of these things are bad on their own, of course. I mean, everything is just variations of human experience. So I am just a variant of some human experience. We all are. So there's nothing wrong with being a variant, and that's thumbs up for that. I especially do not like the eugenic-y sounding terms of calling someone neurodivergent and neurotypical. I'll go with neurotypical, but I like aneurotypical to refer to those who are a little bit different. I am not neurodivergent. That sounds way too much eugenics. I am, on the other hand, a neurotypical. And as there are people like Elon Musk and say that, yeah, my brain chip things, they'll be able to cure things like autism. And it's like, son, I am not a medical diagnosis to be cured. I'm a human being. I'm a variation of human experience. I am not something to be cured. Thank you. That's eugenics, and I don't like that at all. But that's just the way life is here in the world, and so thumbs up. Yeah. One thing I did want to continue talking about is, of course, my setting. I want to continue info dumping all this stuff about my setting, and hopefully I'm going to actually start getting it written. I've been realizing more and more that a lot of the little tales that I tell, it's like, oh, this is just a brief introduction to this type of character. That needs to be like a full novella, each one of those things. They are, in some cases, it's like, that's a full book situation. So I've got a lot of material to mine if I ever actually get around to doing it. Because remember, there is no shame. There is nothing wrong with making up a setting for yourself, like I've been doing with the Razor's Edge, and then not doing anything with it. If it just stays inside of your head and it's made you happy to do it, then thumbs up. Our world is ephemeral. Nothing we make lasts. You will make no impression on this world in the end. So make yourself happy with it. But going back onto the list here, one of the things that I did want to talk about is something that I have been thinking, because I talk about how there's the Glamours and you have to travel with the Glamours and the various layers of reality. And I mentioned yesterday how it's like, a whole lot of extra space wadded up into each space, because there's more there. When you're traveling and you're being nudged by the Glamours, you are traveling from layer to layer. Like if you're on the outside and you get nudged because you want to go to, say, Apple Rock, you would start off just thinking, I need to get to Apple Rock. If you got the sight, so you can be affected by Glamours, you will get that nudge, that first nudge. That will take you to a different layer. It might be just a little layer that extends over just a tiny little bit into the outside, and the larger part of it is not. But it doesn't go all the way to the Razor's Edge, so you're up here on this layer, and you travel until you get nudged by another Glamour. Well, this one takes you to a layer that takes you further. Eventually, 3, 4, 10 layers, depending on how fluid the geology and geography is, you've traveled from layer to layer until finally you go bonk, and you're there. But of course, it's not just, like hopping off of an elevator. No. Let's say you're driving in a car and you're in Brookerton and you want to go to Apple Rock on the Razor's Edge. So you start driving in your car. You feel that first nudge. You've gotten pushed onto that different layer if you follow it. It's not like hopping out of an elevator, but it is, you make that turn and then you start noticing that the houses are just a little bit different. And in fact, you get another nudge that makes you park your car in somebody else's driveway. And across the street, there's another car, and the door's open. So you get out, and you hop into that car, and you drive away in that one. And then you hop off into another layer with a nudge, until finally you're getting close enough. You've traveled through these places. It's been about a half hour. You come out of the forest trail, and there, not the forest trail, the forest road, there's turns and such. I said it very poorly, and I apologize for the use of the word trail. You're coming along the mountainous, hilly roads, and when you come around a corner, hey, there's Apple Rock. At no point did you ever hop out of something, but you did travel between layers just by being nudged by the Glamours until you arrive. There is no direct way to get from here to here, but if you travel the various layers, you get there. Now, of course, these paths are all independent and very, very at the moment, because geology and geography is fluid. Your path is determined on the fly. No person or intelligence is actually determining what a Glamour is. Everything from the inside, all material from the inside, can function as a Glamour as needed. Things on the outside, of course, you need to have some of that energy that's coalesced and become Glamours. There are fewer of them out here, but there are Glamours. That's how people with the sight are still able to travel along the Razor's Edge and get to the inside. Yay! So I'd still been working on lots of stuff, and I had things like that to have it. And yeah, you might start off in like a Ford F-150. I don't know. I'm making up numbers. I don't know cars. And by the time you get to Razor's Edge, you're actually driving like a Ford 8670. And by the time you get back home, you've made enough changes in vehicles. You started off with that Ford, and now you've got something that's not really a car that would have been made on Earth, but it still functions absolutely perfectly as the car that you started off with. It's just not. It's a different vehicle entirely. You kept changing cars. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Gonna go through and thank however many people have left me comments. There are many, there never are anymore, but as long as there's more than 0, that is thoroughly awesome. If I mispronounce your username, my sincere apologies. And even though I count in American Sign Language, well, you know what memory is like. Ugh. So we have Confused Owl 29. Always good to see you in the comments, my friend. Thumbs up. Jocelyn Williams. I've been having fun again with playing with the editor. Zach Goodrich. Thumbs up. And oh boy, that was fun. Valentina Vasquez Serrato. I sure hope I'm close. And hello. We have Ben B. Thumbs up and thank you. Brian Glenn. BB Photography. Thumbs up and thank you. Harvick Mathis. Greatly appreciated. Mega Monster. Thumbs up and thank you. I like the name. And that is it. 8 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. More than 0. Thumbs up for that. And of course, what do I say next? I always get derailed. Remember I talked about my memory? With my hands in the air, I guess I say, I do have various links in the show more, wherever the show more is, if you can see it on the device you're watching it inside, links to all of my channels. There's also my Twitter, my Facebook, my Patreon, and again, I do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are beautiful and awesome people. Literally, they help to keep me alive and my pets alive, and if you could become my Patreon patron, that would be very, very awesome and greatly appreciated. There are links, of course, in the show more, as stated, but I do want to thank each and every one of these beautiful and awesome people. Definitely a thumbs up. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a PayPal link in the show more, and if you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food and the like. You can check it out. To be awesome. Don't feel obligated. I do not feel entitled, and if you cannot or you do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, and of course if you hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Thumbs up and thank you. Well, good golly, Miss Molly. I still have some phone calls to make, so hopefully I can make these phone calls. Finally, I'm out of survival mode, so hopefully that would be good. Past that, I'm going to be as active as I can today and hopefully not fall asleep again. I got videos I want to record. I've got things that I want to try and write, and there's just things to do, so yay. It's good to be active. And of course, I still have not changed this. I need to. Good old executive dysfunction. Yay. So still seek creativity, seek positivity, and seek balance in your life. They are good things. And of course, with the covfefe bug still raging, and we're losing, in the United States alone, like 2,500 people die every single day from this. We have lost more people to the covfefe bug than any other year. It's a horrible statistic. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to get demonetized, so just please wear a mask if you have to go out amongst the unmasked, unvaxxed, mouth-breathing plague rats. Maintain your social distancing, wash your hands often, try not to touch your face, get vaxxed if you're not, get a booster if you can. Hokey smokes, people. Hokey smokes. Hokey smokes. 2,500 people a day. We're coming up on 1 million gone. So, before we meet again, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, that's a very good thing. Definitely a thumbs up, I say.